Hey guys, how's it going? This is Toti again for channel Seraphim. I am once again with my Animar deck because I wanted to show you some changes I did to the deck since the last time I've shown it here. I have been looking at some articles online and I saw some really cool cards that I hadn't considered before that go really well with the deck. So without further ado, let's just take a look here. Let's do like that actually. There we go. Let's cover these things here so we can go by parts. So these are some of the cards I'm adding. Let's go by parts. I realized all of the Hydra creatures that come into play with counters on them are really cool because, well, basically anything that comes into play with counters in this deck is cool because you can move counters around, you can give protection and bonuses to creatures that have counters, and you can do a bunch of cool things with them. Also, you can, with the proliferate theme, you can make all of these creatures bigger, and also with cards that, what's it called, the evolution chamber vat thing, what's it called, this one here, evolution vat. With that you can even make the Hydra double as big, so that's pretty cool. So Protean Hydra, so basically what he does is whenever he has still damage, you remove that amount of counters, and at the end of turn you put doubles the amount of counters. So it's kind of like a Hercules style Hydra, you know, you chop off a couple of heads and then two grow in its place. It's really flavorful, it's a nice card. Anyway, yeah, goes well because it's just 1 green mana, it's really easy to cast, comes into play with a bunch of counters. So yeah, this one should be good. Apocalypse Hydra is another good one, kind of similar. He has another ability. He just deals damage to creatures or players by removing counters, and if you pay 5 or more, it comes with double that amount. So you kind of really want to do it with 5 or more because he's pretty sick. So at 7 mana, he is a 10/10 that has a bunch of, yeah, he's pretty good. Then Ulash, the Hate Seed. This guy comes into play with an amount of +1/+1 counters equal to the number of red and green creatures you control. And if you remove a counter, you can either deal 1 damage to a creature or put a sapling into play. So basically the 3 Hydras. These, as I said, are really cool because they do nice stuff with the +1/+1 counters. Then a couple of graft creatures that I had to consider. This one, it's kind of expensive, but he's cool because he gives flying, so you can kind of fly over things and evade, kind of get your big fat creatures that maybe walk, such as these guys here, for example. You can make them fly over stuff, so that's pretty decent. I thought I'd give it a try. And then the Sages, these are pretty cool. It's if you remove 2 +1/+1 counters among creatures you control, you draw a card. So this is pretty sweet. You can, and it costs just 1 mana to activate. So if you have a bunch of +1/+1 counters around, you basically draw 1 card for each colorless mana you pay. So this is a pretty decent deal. I think we can take good advantage of it. It is only a 4/4 for 6, so it is kind of expensive by itself, but he is pretty sweet. So this is like the... So okay, these are a couple of good graft creatures that I put in, and then these 3 on the bottom here are just good creatures that use +1/+1 counters. So this one destroys artifacts. You can put more +1/+1 counters on it, and then you can destroy more artifacts, which is always nice. This is kind of similar. You can basically do the same thing with getting lands. And then you have Ashling the Pilgrim. This guy is pretty cool. He kind of gives us a Wrath of God effect that we were kind of whining about not having so much. He grows by himself, so that's pretty sweet, and then when you put more counters on him, he can do more damage when you activate this ability a couple of times. So I think he should be pretty good. Okay, so these are the cards that I am putting in. Okay, and I have a couple more here. These are putting in as well. These are like cards that take full advantage of the theme, and then these are just good cards. Imperial Recruiter, this guy is amazing. I totally forgot this one existed. I knew about this card, but I totally forgot it existed. He basically tutors something right into your hand. So any creature with power 2 or less. This is especially cool because he searches up say any of the Hydras, like anything that has 0 power, that comes into play with counters, like the Hydras, the Ashling. He looks up like acidic slime if we need to destroy something. Forgotten Ancient is probably the biggest target we have. It's the best one. Then stuff like Fauna Shaman. In case we need lands, he can get Wood Elves. In case we need cards, he can get where's the guy there? The flying kind of duck thingy. Drifter. There we go. That guy. And yeah, so he's pretty amazing. I want to give him a try. And this card, I mean, it looks amazing in these colors, and there's not that very many decks that will have a chance of actually playing this. So I thought I'd give it a try. I mean, whenever a card gets you 3 for 1, you kind of have to take a look at it. I mean, your opponent, or one of your opponents, that's actually a big difference, does choose what you get, but I mean, if there's, for example, an annoying artifact that is, well, annoying you, you can actually choose an opponent that doesn't control the artifact, and he will probably give you like an artifact removal card, and that will be good. And well, there's a lot of political stuff that you can do with this, so this is pretty cool as well. Then this guy down here, he basically suspends for X into green, and then whenever you remove a suspend counter, you can put a +1/+1 counter on something. So he seems pretty decent. I mean, not amazing, but he seems decent. Then when he comes into play, he has power and toughness equals to the amount of +1/+1 counters among creatures you control, so that seems pretty big. So I thought I'd give it a shot. Duplicant, he is a colorless creature, which is pretty decent in our deck, and he's removal, so I thought, why not? I'll give it a try. And then the last card I want to talk about, this actually I saw in Sheldon Mallory's deck. It seems pretty cool. I also saw what's the name of the card? Well, some of the decks were using a similar blue card, one with Retrace that costs 2, I forget the name, that does kind of the same thing. But I found this one much cooler, because just for 3, you can basically change an instance of a color, is the most used, to another one. And considering our general has protection from 2 colors, you can basically, with this card, you basically give protection from whatever to your general. So yeah, and it has buyback, so it seems pretty cool. Just thought I'd give it a try. Then on this side are the cards we're taking away. I basically took out a bunch of cards that were either kind of replaced with some of these cards, like effect-wise, and also I took away a lot of the cards that just didn't do really much synergistically for the deck, like Genesis, for example. So Worldly Tutor comes into that category. Farhaven Elf, I'm putting another Accelerator in a Fertilid, so I just decided to take this one away, and he wasn't that exciting anyway, so yeah, whatever. Same with Sage of Fables, I'm putting in the Sages here. And in the Pain Artist, to be honest, it's a kind of an unfair cut because I never got to try him, but I don't know, he seems kind of meh, and I want to try the other cards. This guy as well, I'm putting some other artifact removal here, so, and more synergistic one at that, so I don't know how much we actually need him. Thirst for Knowledge, I'm putting in the Guided Passage, so they do kind of a similar thing, so I'm taking that away. Blade of the Blood Chief, kind of, I don't know, I wasn't so amazed with it. Just whenever a creature dies, you can pump one of your dudes, but yeah, I mean, maybe this thing's awesome, I'm not sure, but I think I'll try it maybe some other time. I don't know, I'm not too amazed with it. And then Simic Sky Swallower, I basically put in last time with Ulamog, so I have some fatties, and I have this huge Hydra, so I don't think I really need this. Then Evacuation and Chain Reaction are 2 of the master removals. I think with both Evacuation and Inundate, it's a bit over the top, so I decided to only leave one of these. So I'm leaving in Inundate just because I want to try it. Like not bouncing our general and all that seems pretty sweet. Same with Chain Reaction, because we are putting in Ashley and the Pilgrim. which does kind of a similar thing. And then, well, as I said, Genesis doesn't really do so much. Oracle of Molaya is cool, but I want to try one of these cards. I had to cut something, and he gets the card, I guess. Dark Steel Plate doesn't really do so much. I mean, in the end, what he does is protects us from wraths and stuff like that. But, whatever. I mean, I am putting something like this to give our general added protection. So, I think what I'm going to do is just take these guys away. And this is our new general deck, and I'm going to try it out. Maybe just like one match and see how that works out. And, yeah, let's see if this makes sense. And just after I finished the video, I was going through the Magic 2012 cards, and I found this little piece here that I forgot existed, but looks pretty sweet in our deck. So yeah, another one of those Hydra guys. I love my Hydras. Come into play with X counters. You double the number of counters each turn, so yeah, pretty sick. And I'm taking away the Fierce Empath because we took away a bunch of the higher costed creatures and put one of those counters, and I also kind of put the Imperial Recruiter that does a similar job, so he is getting the cut. And yeah, I'm gonna try this then.